Ange.
Hi.
Nice cup of coffee. Or tea. I gotta get that right. My night last night.
How was it?
Different. It kind of... Because I knew it was a play about, like, real life. And it was, this lady who was supposed to have, a bit of dementia or whatever. I didn't read the program before I went in. I grabbed one to take it home. But, she'd had a stroke. Like, about this lady, she had a stroke. And she was sort of forced to give up her son when she was, like a teenager. And the father, I think he went to Vietnam War and he got killed. And so what sort of happened is she'd been living over in England. She was a really good singer. Like, the singing in it was really, really good. I enjoyed that. But the acting was... I suppose I've never been to anything like that other than, like, a high school play. And it was different. And it was supposed to be comedy. It was like... I think there was, like, 2 bits where it was actually funny. I was like, But it was quite serious. And, But yeah, it was kind of not what I expected at all.
How fun?
Because I thought it would be kind of a bit, I knew it was sort of a serious topic, but I kind of thought it would be a bit more uplifting or a little bit more, because when they say comedy, to me that means you're going to be laughing quite a bit.
Yeah.
And where it was serious most of the time and not, there's only a couple of little bits of comedy in it, and it was sort of could be almost depressing. It's sort of lucky I was in a really good mood last night, because I'm thinking, like, you could walk away feeling really down, because it was, the storyline is she was forced to give up her son, and she was writing him letters and everything. It was actually the father's mother that took parents that, like, they adopted him, because she didn't tell her family, because she was afraid that they were going to, like, disown her, and she was struggling, she couldn't cope, so they kind of forced her to give the baby up. And she went overseas and she did a career in her singing, and she I'm trying to find the right word now. She kept writing letters and stuff to her son, and he never got any of them.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and so he hated her, like, because she had his phone number. Like, she must have had a stroke in England and she flew to Australia, and she had another turn or something, so she was in the hospital and his number was there. So he came to the hospital and sort of said, I don't know her, and he thought she was dead. He got told when he was 6 or something that she was dead. And so he hated her. It was really quite emotional, because, and then at the end, it had been 6 weeks since his grandmother, he called her mother, she died, and they were cleaning up all the stuff, and they had like this little box thing, and they had the attic, like it's like an attic, and there was a guitar case, and everything that she'd ever sent him was all in there. So it was sort of like, it's one of those, it's like a real life thing that happens. And I think when he was 15, I'm not sure if he tried to find her or something. And it flicked, like, 1 minute she was in the present moment, and then the next minute, she was almost neurotic, and she went back to the past. But then they reckon that was supposed to be because she'd had the stroke. So it was different.
Was that confusing?
Not really. I think if I'd have maybe I should have read the program a little bit first, and because it kind of you just threw you straight in the middle of it. It was sort of like no lead up to it, so it's like, oh, hang on, I should have read the program. But then you sort of like understood it. So by the end, you kind of understood it. But then it just like ended. It was like, oh, it was sort of, it didn't seem to, I don't know, it was just, maybe it's just because I've never experienced anything like that. It was a bit different.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not what I expected.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very different.
That's really interesting, Lord.
Yeah.
How did it all play on stage? Like,
Yeah, well, actually, that was the thing. I kind of thought, often they have a break, an intermission, but they didn't. They went for an hour and a half. And when they sort of stopped, I thought, oh, this break. Then I checked my phone. It was like it'd been an hour and a half. I thought, wow. So it went quick. Like you sort of like you were really immersed into it. And they had the stage set up. So they had like a hospital bed on one side, and then they had this like box, and they had a telephone in it, and it had like little sliding doors at the front, like clear glass sliding doors, and then but either side and the back had it like an opening and had a phone in there. So they kind of used, and then along to the left there was like a pile of stuff, and then there was like a straight patch which they had lighting done so that it looked like it was either grass or something like that, and then there was another little like a room thing right at the left hand side of the stage, and then at the back there was another sort of like a screen thing that they used as well. So they never changed sets. They just changed lighting, and and then the people like the actors. There was a male nurse or doctor. The main lady, that was Gloria, her name was, and then the doctor played. I don't remember. But anyway, they switched and played like the son and the wife, and then they had a son too. They all, I think the son, I can't remember if he switched anything or not. But anyway, they switched from when she went back in time. The son became, I think Adam was her lover, became his father, and the wife became like the mother, Rose, the one that took her baby away. So then they just sort of switch. Yeah, it's like she'd had a psychotic moment and go in the past, and then they'd switch into be the past, and then it would change again back into the future. It's kind of, but you understood it, like it wasn't so much so that you think, oh, hang on, where am I? Like the way they did it, and they had this really awesome lighting where on the bed they had, when she got up and was like pretending to be like in the past, they had a picture of her laying there in bed. It was awesome. I thought that was really cool. I don't know how they did that. And like if the male doctor or whatever he was if he was standing over, he just remained stationary over this image, and then like that just sort of hazed out, and then they went sort of different area or whatever. It was kind of interesting the way they did it. It was just a bit depressing because I mean it's a real sort of storyline, and it's just like a bit, that does happen. It's like, and I suppose that's what it was about. It was about reality, but I think I just thought that would be a little bit more comedy in it. So I'm kind of glad I was in a really good mood last night. Otherwise, I think it might have made me feel really down. So anyway, it was different.
Were you going to wake up?
Not really. I'll never see it again. Put it that way. Like, it was an experience. Like, I'm kind of, but it was different. But I don't think I'd say I was disappointed. I felt good too because I actually felt comfortable being there on my own. So I thought that was a newbie for me.
Okay.
Yes, awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. So I thought that was good.
And you found the place okay?
Yeah, I had. Because when I got the ticket, they had a little map thing in there, so I just had little footsteps. So I I just followed that. Yeah, and that was pretty easy to get to.
Okay.
But I think I'm not sure how long it took. It took me a little while to walk there. It was a couple of blocks away, but but they didn't really have any real signage at the front. Oh, they had, I think it was Billy Theatre or something, but they didn't actually have that anywhere. They just had Queensland Performing Arts or something like that on the building. So, and they didn't have a poster or anything at the front. You had to actually go. It was nice too, the building. It's like you go into like a little corridor thing, and they've got like, it's sort of semi-outside kind of thing where people sit, and they had the big bottle tree in the middle and it had little lights in it. It had a roof over it, but it was kind of open, and then you walked in the doors and there was the, like bathrooms and a bar and everything. there, so that was kind of nice.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was just like you went in there and you just sat anywhere, which I found that daunting to start with. I thought, oh, if I had a set seat, I'm okay. I'm thinking like, how am I going to feel? You know, I've got to just find a seat. But luckily they had, where you first walk in, they had some of the seats blocked off, and I think that was for maybe latecomers. And there was some people, I think it was the second or third row. I can't remember. And there was one next to it, so I just sat there.